Hello guys and welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be sharing this simple okra stew recipe, so let's get along.
Chef One Kitchen!
Chicken, I love you so much. I eat you every day, you really go.
So with okra stew you don't need too much of ingredients, so I'm using a tomato, of my habanero pepper, some onions. So what I'm doing is taking the seeds out of the tomato because I need the tomato itself, not with the seed, because my liquid is going to be my seed blend with my pepper and onion. With that, I go ahead by chopping or rough chop my tomatoes, which is all I need to start my okra stew with. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do subscribe, like the video, and share. Once I've chopped my tomatoes or rough chopped my tomatoes, that is all the tomatoes you need for my okra stew. So there's a huge difference between okra stew and tomato okra soup. Those are the difference. So with that, I added a teaspoon of tomato paste with my habanero, the tomato seeds, and the onion, and I will throw that in a blender, and this is what it looks like. This is all the liquid I need to start my okra stew. So with that, I have my fresh okra. So with the okra, I chopped off the edge of it and I cut it into two. So if you don't want to use the okra, you can use frozen okra. With frozen okra, you can just crush it and then just break it into pieces, and you can have what your texture you need for your okra stew. But I'm using fresh okra and I'm just dicing them into chunks. I mean, not two chunks, because you don't want all to disappear in your okra stew. So I have my eggplant, and eggplant is also crucial ingredient you need for your okra stew. So with that, this is how your okra is supposed to look like. Either with fresh or frozen okra, this is how it's supposed to look like. So once you cook it, you don't cook it through. I cook it less than 3 to 4 minutes, and this is what you're supposed to have. With my eggplant, I peel the skin off my eggplant. We don't need the skin, we just need the food in the eggplant. So after peeling the skin off, I cut it into two, and with that, cutting it into two, you can easily chop it or grate it, which I'm going to be grating it. This is a fine chop grater. The grater has 4 sides, and you can choose whichever end you like to use to grate your eggplant. And I like that part because I want it to be a little bit chunk in my okra stew. You can find this grater at any grocery store or any local African market, and this is how when you grate your eggplant it's supposed to look like. With that, once I'm done, just place that in the refrigerator, because once you see the color changes, you don't want it to be too dark. And this is the rest of my eggplant. I rough chopped my eggplant to put in my okra stew. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do subscribe, like the video, and share. So with a pan, I have my red oil. With the red oil, make sure it's hot. I added a half onion diced roughly, and I cook it for at least 2 to 3 minutes. So after 2 minutes, I added my puree habanero, tomato, and the onion as my base, and as you can see the water in the tomato. You don't cook it through, you cook it for at least 5 to 6 minute. So you cover it for it to cook, and once it's that cooked, this is how it's supposed to. There's water in it, which is fine because we're making okra stew, not okra soup. So with that, I cook it for additional 5 minutes, and I added my chopped eggplant to start the base of our okra stew. And this is how it's supposed to look like. So I added my ginger and garlic seasoning. I added my bay leaf powder and 2 chicken cube because I'm making chicken shrimp okra stew. So that is my grilled chicken. So chicken is very cheap to buy and is always fine at the grocery store. So I rough chopped my chicken into dice, and I want that chicken to be able to soak the sauce in a bowl of shrimp. And with that, I added my eggplant, the eggplant that I grated out. This is how it's supposed to look, and it smells so good. So after a few minutes, I added my diced tomatoes with it. With that, the reason why I added the diced tomatoes to my okra stew, I want the tomato to break the okra, the sliminess that makes the soup okra. I don't need that in my okra stew. Even you can have it, but you don't want it all. So with that, I added my chopped chicken and I added my shrimp, and I cover it to cook for at least 10 minutes. So I added a pinch of salt, and our okra stew is almost done, and it smells delicious. So I added my cooked okra. As you can see, I didn't add any water. So if you want to make okra soup, you might want to use this recipe to make your okra stew. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do subscribe, like the video, and share. So you cover it and put your stove on a medium heat, and I put some onion and habanero pepper for garnishing, and our okra stew is done. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you like it. Make sure you try this recipe out and let me know, and I'll be serving it with my Niger. I love my Niger people, with my pounded yam, fufu, and some okra stew. Is amazing. I hope you like the video. I hope you share it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.